Well, it's certainly a property that needs a lot of attention. And I salute you. It's
Yes.
looking a lot better than it has been.
Yes.
I do truly salute you because it's been a problem area and caused a lot of complaints over the years. And so I'm glad to see somebody taking hold of it and doing something with it.
We're glad to do it.
And,
Was there any opposition to this?
There was just one neighbor that came to the meeting the other night, and she just was like, please don't let it get trashy again, you know.
well, I concur with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, comment on that is, that place, again, my associates and I own Sycamore Acres up on Topeka Boulevard. And it was the same generation of park that was built as a result of Ford Field. And, you know, they just weren't set up for a modern situation back then. And so you end up with a very trashy look. And, you know, you've got to put in the right facilities in order to be able to have that work in the modern world where people have a lot of stuff. So once, you know, we're made really good progress, and we've uncovered a lot of assets that we didn't think were there. Namely, you know, those areas have been leveled, and there's a lot of cement pads out there. There's a lot of gravel. It'll be very expensive. And one of the things, you know, we've got the Walmart distribution center coming in just north of here, and with the other distribution centers up there, there is a lot of truck drivers, and I know there's a lot in Osage County, and there just is no place to park a truck. And a lot of folks that use RVs, you know, they're not just recreation. A lot of them today have come to be with family during when a family member's having a medical issue, or they're here going to school, or things of that nature, and it is a real convenience to the community. But back to the truckers, they need a place to park, and they like the idea of, you know, of RVs and things like that. And we've had several of them up at Sycamore Acres. Of course, we can only let 2 of them park a truck at a time, but they're great folks. They pay the bills, good income.
where on this map are you gonna park the trucks?
Well, initially, it would, it'd just be that small area up front there.
They're on.
Oh,
Big
by that
Boulevard.
house.
Right, on the old, yeah.
I mean, we're not
Oh, sorry, I'm looking this way, down here.
Oh, over here.
Yeah, that area.
foreseeing, anyway, that area. We have other areas, obviously, that are pretty well
Good.
gravelled and packed if the demand came up. And the way they would be entering, obviously, would be off Topeka Boulevard. So we've got one neighbor that's close, and we'd be quite a ways from them. And I think we've really tried to stick with what was there originally and not reinvent the wheel. It's been there for so long.
Right.
Just clean it up and put it back into operation.
That's a commercial wastewater permit, so KDHE's has sold.
KDHE has regulations of the lagoons.
Yeah.
Right, so we don't have to do
Lagoons
it.
are
We
large
do
enough
nothing
for
with
what we want to do here.
Yeah,
Yeah, should
Probably
be.
oversized.
well, yeah, I mean, like I said, KDHE's in charge of it all.
Right, so we don't have to,
So it's not us.
okay.
And the board did approve this.
Guess they did unanimously.
Unanimous. I would move we pass resolution number Z2006.
I would second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Here's the
Motion
original.
carries.
You wanna start signing?
I can.
Okey dokey. Out in the hallway or something. Okay, Mr. Harris, come on up, please. The next one I have on the agenda is
Morning.
Harris Shooters.
Here, Gaylord.
Well, I guess I just don't know how to count on that. I'll be thrilled.
There's one for your file. For the first one.
Sorry.
That's
Fred.
okay.
There is one here for Rhonda.
Yep, okay.
Here's Harris Shooters.
Here's the original,
Thank
the
you.
first one.
Harris Shooters is proposing to expand their operation. They require the church up here next to Harley Gertie's auction. So, Mr. Harris, you want to,
I think we're just growing the business. We're planning on putting in a public use archery range in the northeast corner, with the arrows heading straight east, and a limited use to staff only for testing of firearms in the back on the south side, shooting in the same direction.
And you've got provisions for when the horse people are doing
Yes,
functions?
I spoke with
Dave Wright?
Dave Wright. He came by the store while I was up there, and he first thought we were planning on shooting where the archery range was, but once he looked at the ground, he's like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, no, that's not where it's going further away in a deeper hole.
But you won't be discharging when they're having events?
Correct. We spoke, and he's gonna get me a calendar of events, and we will work with them.
Great.
So,
Sounds like a plan to me.
That was the only opposition there was at the meeting, was Dave, concerns, I should say, not opposition, but concerns. Again, it was voted unanimously with the conditions of the berm, meeting with the
Yep.
Corps of Engineers to get a proper height.
Yeah. It's all right to me, Mr. Chairman.
You gonna keep your other store open too?
We're looking at two different options right now. One would be selling the building. The other, we were thinking about doing cerakoting and gunsmithing there. Unfortunately, cerakoting to get licensed or to get certified for it can't happen until June of 2022, because that's the earliest they have classes
Wow.
that are open. So I don't know if we can afford to keep that building. So
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I move we approve resolution number Z 20-07.
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck to you, sir.
appreciate it.
Just going up through these, aren't we?
Let's see.
If you would hand one to Fred, please, instead of me throwing
Fred,
it at him.
there's that one.
And Rhonda,
Let's see, I
here's one
already,
for
we
you.
already did that one. No? No.
Okay, the next one is Z 2008, is Osage City is proposing to put in a solar farm, and I believe that I see Rod back there, and so, Rod, you wanna come on up and,
Thank you. I'm Rod Willis. I'm the city manager in
Hi.
Osage City. And I also have with me Lindsay Freeman and Brandon Sack, they're from Evergy. And I also have Chris Klein, he's our new utilities director since Joey is going to Frisco. We're asking for this in advance because it takes quite some time for Evergy to assemble all the components. Evergy will build the solar farm, 1.7 megawatt. What brought this about was we have a Grand River Dam Authority 2 megawatt contract that expires in 2025. This 1.7 will replace a good portion of that energy. It would be planned to be built in 2023. The fence or perimeter fence would be in 2022. But it will look just like the pictures you've seen. It'll look just like the one in Baldwin City, if you've ever seen it.
Yep.
And it is to be located on the old city dump that the city's owned the land for 80-some years. It is quiet. There's no fuel being burned because it uses sunlight. We see it as a really good usage of the property, and they don't have to disturb the land. They just put the pillars in that support the panels. So be enclosed with a chain link fence. The power lines to deliver the power to the city are already exist. So the only power line infrastructure will occur on the site itself and getting it across 229th Road to the existing utility power lines. The power will go directly into the city's grid. It won't be sent over cross-country or anything like that. It would be a behind-the-meter use for the city. And Evergy will build it and own it and operate it until the city purchases it from them. And Evergy will have it at least 7 years. The city, we have a bond rolling off this year, and we're gonna take that annual bond payment and just store it up. And so whether it's 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years, hopefully to be 7, we're gonna pay cash for the system. At that time, the city will fully own and operate. And so if you have any questions, answer your questions.
Any opposition?
No opposition. Casey Mazzata was there. He's the neighbor and he's fully in support of it.
I think the area
It's, well, the tract is 10 acres. 10 acres.
10 acres.
Will it utilize it all?
Most of it, yes.
Really?
Yeah. There is a little storage building in the corner that will remain, and they'll just store some extra equipment in it. And so the driveway that's there and the building that's there will continue to be there.
You said it won't actually be constructed till when?
2023.
2023.
But Evergy is already getting the panels and equipment together. Of course, you're probably aware there's a huge demand for solar now across
Yeah, I imagine.
the nation and the world, so it takes time to get the panels together.
But there's no opposition, no,
No, nothing.
no anything, your board passed unanimously.
Unanimously.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move we pass resolution number Z 20-08.
I'll second that, Fred.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
There's the
Original.
original.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Ray.
I know, we did.
You always do.
And the last one I have is out at the Flying R
Did you get this one, Fred?
Airport. The property
Yes,
down
I
in
got one.
red,
One in red, okay.
okay, is owned by Quick Properties, which is the applicant for this. They are wanting to have a cold storage for, construction equipment. In the future, would like to be able to have a aviation mechanic shop there that,
Well, seeing how it's on a runway. that
makes sense.
Didn't we have some issues with taxes on this project?
Not
On the runway, not on those properties.
Right, not on his.
Right.
Okay.
And that's been changed hands just
It's
late
been-
last week.
Oh, it has been
Yes.
resolved. Well, that's good
Some-
news.
Yeah. There
Which
was-
wouldn't really affect that property anyway. It was more the runway.
I
that
understand.
caught, so.
I didn't realize. that.
It's a strange.
Yes.
I see you have one opposition
We
protest
do have
position.
one protest, as you read, that he just,
What property does that gentleman own?
that one. I
16
think
and
is-
17.
Yeah. He's there in the subdivision area,
Where is it at?
right there, where your pin was.
But his opposition is he wanted a quiet place to go camping and hunting on a runway.
I don't know what to think of that.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not, it doesn't seem to go quite together, and it is
Right.
kind of an industrial area already in some ways,
very
some of
much
it.
so.
Yes.
It looks like a perfect place for it, in my opinion, for a warehouse.
Because of the remote area, he says that trucks will not be coming in, they will be doing delivery service.
Yeah,
So, you know,
Delivery service, how's he gonna get something delivered?
they will do the coming and the going themselves, apparently.
it's their own company trucks,
Yeah.
not necessarily,
Yeah,
I see, yeah.
Right.
It looks like an ideal place for such thing in my mind, but
he wasn't able to be here today, but if he called and said if we need him, he's by the phone.
The applicant,
The applicant, yes.
not the,
No, not the participant.
Not the-
No, petition.
and he's not here, the one that
No,
that
because,
filed the protest.
no, because he doesn't even live in the area.
I know.
It's a cabin area thingy that he lives in, the way I took it.
Hmm.
So,
I don't know. It looks all right to me. And no, other than that opposition, there was no opposition from anybody
there was
else.
nobody, well, there was people there at the meeting, but their complaint basically was the roads in there not being taken care of and all that.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
interior issue that has nothing to do with,
Yeah, with this application.
And the board did approve.
Unanimously again.
Okay.
yeah, all right, Billy Gaylord.
I'm fine with it.
Brad?
Yeah,
Then I move we approve resolution number Z2009.
I'll second that as well.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And that's all I have for you for now.
You can have all that back.
Boy, you've been busy.
I
You have been
have.
busy.
We have nothing this month, and then we have another rock quarry coming in,
Another rock quarry, potential
limestone quarry.
limestone, yeah.
I'll give you those while you're in
Oh,
here.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Up this way.
Carbondale.
Oh, Carbondale. Well, I would certainly run that through Mr. Tyson multiple times.
Thank you very much.
You do anything with this request or just acknowledge?
Just, if you approve it, he's gonna send it out.
Okay. And Pat's looked it over and he's,
Pat looked it over for the legal.
okay,
And that's just requesting bids for
Right.
the new phones.
right, proposal, so.
Which has been hanging for years and
So-
years and years. And everybody's, is it leasing or purchasing?
Well, I'm sure they'll give different options.
Right,
But does that request that, or are we not requesting specifically?
No, I don't believe so from what Sonia and I talked about. And then he wants them to come and present, not only to you, but like to maybe a committee that would
yes,
give ideas
I
of
think
what
that's a great idea.
features they'd like to see on
The
the
people
phone.
that actually have to.
right,
use it.
that are gonna use it, so, okay.
That was kind of Sunny's plan.
I'm fine with having an RFP for that.
Okay,
issue. Are you Gaylord?
Yes, I am.
okay.
You bet.
You need that in a
Place to
motion
start.
form or?
Probably wouldn't hurt to do a motion.
I
to
move we
allow-
authorize, Sonny to send out a request for proposal.
Did we need a motion
For
to
the
do the
telephone
request
system?
for proposal? Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Send it out. You have anything, Pat, we need to discuss?
Now, the tax deal's getting closed, I keep telling you that, I'm filing that foreclosure, we're dealing with a couple of estates that people died, and there's 20-some heirs trying to find
Yeah.
alternatives.
Yeah,
That's what's kind of holding me up lately is the last couple,
right,
trying to figure that out.
Yes.
Get everybody served. It's brutal,
Yeah, those
it's gotta
kids
be
be a
it's
horrible
gotta be a
mess.
big one.
Then you hope that by the time you get it done, like, somebody else doesn't die.
Yeah, and you just gotta do the best you can, cause if they're out there and you don't try to serve them, it can be a potential problem.
right.
Imagine.
Yep.
And that's, that's why we do the title searches and stuff, cause there's some that do a cursory title search, and I've heard many a horror story of other counties that get stuff set aside a year later, and then you got a big mess on your hand.
Yeah, after somebody else owns it theoretically. Yeah.
I am gonna be gone next Monday, wanted to let you know that, I'll be out of town
Okay.
next Monday.
We're waiting on Glenn, I guess.
Yes.
We gotta take a break. That's
Okay,
all right.
that's good.
Did anybody have any corrections to the minutes or?
No.
No, they're okay.
They look clear to me.
I got a call from Gary this morning, says, hey, I can't be out of it. So I called him back, but I still haven't heard from me. I said, that's pretty convenient. I thought I was hanging out about the voice, I went down, hanging out about the voice, oh, ooh, it'd be cool, it was Monday. October 19th. There's my cell phone number, call me if you need questions.
One of the beauties of having one shop.
You know, sometimes that's not so much fun either. I usually don't ever do that. But it's gonna be cold, I don't know if I'm in there, but. Too old, and I got too cold too quick when that happened. I don't like those 30 or 40 degree weather swings.
I saw the Long Ranger, they said the temperatures above average, which would be nice, and then they keep 2 hours.
It's too cool. Let's see, in November, my average would be 55, 60, right? I think right now our average is supposed to be 66 or something like that, 67, so. I could live with 60 more.
Yeah.
I could live with 50 year old. Especially in December, January.
Not the wind, that's what I say, that's the key, don't let the wind blow.
I think I got some signs I can get fixed. I picked the guy up there yesterday morning. And now I call him. He was driving that MG that I had, that kit car, with a rag top, and he's driving it back to Indianapolis.
Oh.
He left yesterday with one ball, like, oh, yeah. I said, how long is that trip? He said, well, it's supposed to be 8.5 hours. I said, I plan on 11 or 12. Because it was there, we only got like a 6-gallon gas tank. You know, stop and get gas for it, but of course it's a Volkswagen engine, so.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him if he made it. I said,
He probably would have heard something.
that could not have been very well. Of course, for me, my belly would hit the steering wheel. Yeah, me felt perfect. So, yes, that was 29 in your mid-50s and mid-30s. He come out, I said, where'd you bring away? So, I should have brought a snowsuit. I said, no shit, I said, especially since these cars don't have heat.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, wind cut
was to start doing asphalt out my way today, but they begged off because it's too cold, so,
Oh, on the road?
yeah, on that wind farm destruction.
Yeah,
road.
right.
They have it now, not, they have it from Russia, it's down by the Orbis plant.
Well, I'd rather have them do it when it's right than do it
Yep,
and
I
not
agree.
hold. That's probably the trouble with that thin layer like that, it's harder
that
to get
road
it
was-
stick down.
That road was designed for 1968 pull-type campers and nothing else.
Well, most of them, it was just a gravel road and they just shot some oil and started putting
Yep.
chips on it. So
Exactly
it
right.
wasn't really designed as a,
So once it started going bad, it just killed out of the middle. So I said the same thing about Osage, and Osage plays like so like Rossville. I think they can people get their mindset that as soon as something goes bad, oh God, here we go again. That's the problem. It's like London against Open Center, it used to be Troy.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, they get that cold. Exactly, that's it. Cold is out of there. We might have to play that. That's one of the teams.
Or, you know, when
It does become mindset. It's just cold, and they would show up with their own bus and TV crew. And you know, they show up and set up, they put the big bus, had the TV antennas up, had the camera, I mean, it was right there. They put themselves into it. Yeah, I mean, it becomes a mindset thing.
Well, Pat, I see you got a little bit of chief stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You bet. And game in the afternoon on a Monday? Jesus, that's,
I tried to get them to pass a resolution, start tonight's meeting at 7:30, but nobody listened to me.
you probably did. We'll have to hope that the Chiefs,
It's a close game. I
we
would
got
like-
council meeting. So, you know, I just hope the Chiefs are well ahead so I can leave the game.
Yeah, they can always be late.
Yeah, but see, I missed my time. So I got
Your
my few
time.
words. Yes,
They have Gene time.
yeah.
I can only imagine what Gene's doing.
Well, since it takes you 10 minutes to read minutes, I think I'll be 10 minutes
But they may have a question for you, Pat.
Calling some questions for Gene time, that's why you're not 20 minutes. You can always pick the time up. Go down there before you leave here, before you leave town, just go reset all the clocks. I used to do more every weekend. I sneak in, and then I go late, I go change all the clocks. I'm not late, you guys are just early.
Chiefs lose tonight, we got reading. From what I see, there's a lot of pretty good AFC teams at 4-5.
Tennessee's gonna be good. Anytime you run the ball and got defense, you're gonna go, yeah.
Don't forget my Steelers.
Soybeans any good?
Nah, it's just average. The corn was real good, but the beans needed rain in August, they didn't get.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'll never change.
that's what it takes to make soybean. That's
Certain
another
things I will do today.
thing you can plan on every year in Kansas.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, yeah. Did you put that roll of paper towels there for my benefit?
I don't remember why I put them there.
How's Mr. Tyson today?
Oh, guess I'm just fine.
Good.
Our list of bridges to apply for the local bridge improvement program for next year. We kinda went through them there last week and everything, and still think that probably that 134 bridge up on 125th Street, probably our best candidate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if your permission, I'll ask that it be submitted onto that.
Sounds-
And that's another fracture critical.
Okay.
So, I do have this afternoon or here shortly, we're gonna go out with Cook Flat. KDOT has finally decided to come out of hibernation, and we got a field check up there on Hope.
Oh, good.
So we're finally maybe gonna get rolling on that.
Okay.
So we have that here this afternoon, and also, our 2020 bridge improvement, bridge over on Barrington, between 133rd and 137th. We're going to do that field check also.
Good.
So, and also while they're down this way, we're gonna end up back over at the CD pit. We can view how that looks. and
Okay.
everything to them, so. Got a busy afternoon.
Yes.
Looks to be that field check, bridge up there on Hope, the off system bridge, looks like they're gonna go back in with all steel structure.
Oh, okay.
Except for the deck. I mean, the deck itself will be formed out with steel, but concrete wear surface, so to speak, on it. Lot of riprap.
Yeah.
Go in there, a lot. I mean, if you wanna look at some of
Yeah. Boy, that twists around there though, that stream's always scouring.
You're gonna,
south branch of the Walkeroos. So
Yeah.
you got a lot of water.
Yeah.
you're gonna have to have a
And
lot of.
does an S curve through there, so it's,
There's it'll be a 65-foot structure, steel structure,
okay.
26-foot wide. But yeah, this is all being riprap.
Lots of riprap.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of riprap.
Okay.
Looks like we're gonna have two parcels to buy from Carmen Johnson Trust,
And Franklin's,
Edgar and Carol Franklin.
right.
These are two parcels.
Not many acres, though.
Well, I don't have that yet. I mean, that will be after the field check. They'll send out the utilities and the landowners, but see, we're existing right here. So we're buying from here to here.
I see.
And same way here, here's the existing. So there's gonna be some on each side.
This arrow, that's existing?
Yes,
Yes, okay.
yeah. This being this tract right there.
Okay.
So anyhow, we'll see if they'll pans out for
Any
everybody.
utilities they have to move? or-
Yeah, there is.
I couldn't remember what went up through there, so.
Utilities in here. Well, said there was. We don't have them listed out here.
Okay.
It could be here.
Looking to see if, there's water. There's water right there. For sure.
Glenn's pointing under the bridge.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying still looking to see it. We usually have a little graph over here, a list
Okay.
of the utilities, but we definitely got water,
Water line out there.
but I don't see any phone.
Which would be good. On that first page, show me where this is in the county here.
It's right up here,
Okay.
the turnpike,
Right off the turnpike.
Yeah.
Yep. Just north of the turnpike. It's it's kind of a winding road, but it's just south between 117th
Yeah.
and 109th Street.
It's an interesting road to drive.
Yeah.
Up a steep rocky hill,
Oh, yeah.
winds around, kind of a neat drive,
Yeah,
when the road's good.
Probably now with leaves turning and
We
everything,
took a
even more so.
tractor drive up there one time with a bunch of people, and they really like going up and down that hill.
There's several, you get on over there.
Well, we
There's
went
some
down
other-
Carrier Hill, yeah, and
Yeah.
circled around and then came back up that one. And
There's several up in there. It's kind of the same scenario of a hill and everything winds
Yeah.
around, then you go down and go across.
yeah,
Most all of them is across from Walkerishon
Yeah.
too. So. But the other bridge, now the local improvement bridge is going to be a box, concrete.
right,
Triple span.
Yeah.
But, again, we don't have KDOT involved with that. I mean, they just furnished them the $150,000 for construction of it, and so.
So you're on your own.
And then 50,000 in addition if we close, which we are closing, so you end up with 200,000.
right.
We're gonna close that one Bridge 71 there, south of Osage,
So,
Little York Bridge.
ballpark, how much is that bridge gonna cost then?
I hope it runs in that range. The whole intentions was of maybe letting both of them, about the same time, or both of them getting let at the same time.
Right,
Maybe while one contractor's in the vicinity, he'll bid
Both of
pretty
them.
good on both of them.
okay,
But, of course, we have no control of the letting on the off-system bridge. That's all KDOT deal.
Okay.
They will set the time of the letting and handle all that paperwork. We just kind of follow suit. But if we build this other one in at the same time, same day of a letting or
Right.
something, or same time frame, why, maybe we could get a little
Right.
cheaper cost.
okay,
But, anyhow, the CD landfill, contractor had to move out a
for a couple, 3 days to finish a project he had started in Miami County. But, he's supposed to be back tomorrow, working, starting to look pretty close to seeing how everything is for sure gonna lay out. I look for another good week of work, he'll pretty much have it wrapped up.
Okay,
He's got the pit area or the, fill back in on the borrowed out trench that they previously had there. That's pretty much filled back into the north end. He just has to turn now and go back to the west, which is a lot narrower trench, so he'll move along a lot faster on that.
okay,
Got through that one rock ledge, well, when you came
Right.
over there Monday afternoon,
right,
he pretty much got through that one rock ledge that we was concerned about,
okay,
so. I think that's still gonna be able to stay on our 3-to-1 grade
Slope.
that we had figured on and everything.
was there any damage on that turnpike bridge west of Burlingame that they ran into?
No, not that I'm.
Okay.
aware of and everything. That one that they're closing, you mean? That
The one on
Crawford?
Crawford, yeah,
Well, that just that's raising the bridge up, isn't it? Isn't that the idea?
well, I heard someone ran into it Friday night on the hit it from the turnpike side,
Oh,
and they closed it during the night,
okay.
and then it was open again the next Saturday morning.
But that's the one they're gonna raise, isn't it?
Well-
That's the one I thought that they were
That was
gonna
too
raise.
low and
Well,
they
it
were
probably
gonna,
is, but,
But they had
however
way
they're
I
gonna
run
raise
into beforehand,
Yeah.
huh?
so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
just proves that they
Okay.
need to raise it, I guess.
yeah.
But.
Well, they need to get the one over the 31 bridge open
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, but I.
'Cause that's the
I didn't
detour right
hear
now.
that they had gotten hit.
Okay.
I'm like Ken, I thought that it was just a raising the elevation of it.
No, I heard someone ran into it, something on the turnpike hit it, and so they closed it during the night. And then
Okay.
I guess they got out Saturday morning and checked it,
Well,
and
that's
it's okay.
all Township road there.
Well, right, but
Yeah, but-
it's a well-used road right now.
Yeah, yeah, with that other bin, why,
Yeah.
probably really.
Everybody from Harveyville's cut through there, and
Well, the ones that don't come down our portion up there too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extra traffic on that, as we found out. with
Yeah.
the Asphalt work this year.
okay,
Yeah, we canceled out doing the asphalt work today because of the temperature thing and everything.
good,
Needs to be, these 50 degrees are rising, you know.
Want a good stick on it.
Yes,
It's No
right.
more often we ever get to do it, so.
That's why we canceled out on that for today. Tomorrow, we're gonna try for it again. It may be a late day start by 10 or 11 o'clock, but, gonna try that. Wednesday and Thursday, of course, got some rain chances in there.
Rain, light rain doesn't bother it as much as cold weather, does it? Or does it? Yes,
Don't ever like to have it.
don't like rain in
I've
it.
seen some of the better patches put down in rain
Yeah,
over the years. So, yeah, I mean, it's not good practice by no means, but as far as getting caught in a rainstorm, why, there's been a lot of asphalt laid in rain. Outside of that, we hope to finish all the mowing back on gravel roads by the end of the week or first part of next week. We should have all the gravel roads mowed back right away. And then we'll jump back onto the blacktops and get them all mowed back.
right.
We,
the old mowers hanging together.
lot of gear grease.
Yeah,
Lot
they're
of
getting
corn-
pretty
lot of-
ancient.
Let me put it this way, a lot of corn head gear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which would do it, but
Uh,
we probably should've
Still haven't heard anything
swapped
from,
them.
Canequip on
oh,
trying
the
that
demo,
one mower out. I don't know. I'll get back contact with him and see what the schedule is on that, whether it's gotten back in here or still like to try one of them out, so kinda know how
Right.
to go out bids, how that will hold up and what everybody thinks of it. But no, I answer your question, one more's got serious seal problems in the gearbox.
Well, they've been good mowers.
Yeah.
And we've used them to no end, so.
Yeah,
And
then,
they were both, we got them both the same year, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
A few years ago.
a long time ago.
But, outside of that, yeah, I don't really have anything too pressing right now.
Great.
Okay.
This asphalt will take 3 days for sure, 3 full days. Got some culverts and everything like to get put in, which we're kinda redoing some, getting the preparations on now. We're not closing the road at this point, but, we got some channel work and riprap and everything placed in. And that's what we're gonna use some of that, concrete rubble that you've seen over there at the pit.
Yeah.
CD pit.
Right.
We're gonna place some of that, as long as we don't have rebar in it, we're gonna place some of that over there on this next site where we're gonna put the culverts in.
Mm-hmm.
Use up some of it, make it look a little neater and everything in the beginning. But it definitely looks different over there, doesn't it, Fred?
Yes, it does. A lot different.
A lot of change there, for sure.
So how much concrete do you have to justify having someone come in and crush it for you?
Oh, I don't know, I couldn't answer that.
I didn't know whether it's,
Yeah,
so I see them do that some places, you know,
Yeah.
make some,
But I don't think there'd be enough there, they'd wanna come in on
That's-
that project there.
okay,
We did actually end up using some of that big rock that was there last week. We had another project that we,
right,
needed to have some big riprap on. It was actually over at the wind farm area. It was on that, Carlson Road there, just north of 333rd. It was all flaked off there. I think we ended up hauling 3 or 4 loads of that big riprap over there. Placed it down in there.
okay,
Still, kinda getting back to the wind farm, still having an argument. We got the one spot finally through their heads, and
Mhm.
they did fix that terrace and kinda kept that drainage.
Yeah, I know.
That other up there, they do not think that thing needs to have a culvert. They're the ones that placed the new entrance.
Yep.
I'm still standing by that. I mean, if you went out there and wanted a new entrance,
You'd want a culvert there,
we
looks to
would-
me like.
we would, ask that you purchase a pipe to put in
Put it
there.
in
And, they're not backing down and I'm not backing down.
I don't think you ought to back down. I looked at it myself and the amount of money those people spend and then they argue over a culvert.
Yeah.
It's just kind of mind numbing.
I mean, but the silly thing of it again, all they had to have done is went up the hill
And they wouldn't have needed
another
it.
100 feet,
Yep.
and they'd been on the break of the hill.
Yep, and they
could
wouldn't have
put the
needed a
roadway
culvert.
across there, and there'd been no issue at all. I mean, it's not one of those deals where drawing the plans up at the office just don't.
Yeah,
I
Right.
mean,
having
go
some
out
draftsman sitting
Right.
there
Look
that's
at
never
it.
seen something.
But again, it needs to have a culvert.
Yeah, it does. I
So-
agree with you 100%.
where's this at?
Oh, it's on 333rd, right at the very east end of the
The
last windmills that there is.
Okay,
And they're
333.
balking that they don't, well, they're complaining because it's rock in there and it didn't have a culvert there. Well, no, but you didn't have an entrance.
didn't have an entryway there beforehand either, so
Okay.
you didn't need a culvert without
Good
an
enough.
entryway, so. But I don't, the entryway's gonna keep washing out.
Yeah.
If they don't put one in there, so.
Well, water.
And it'll tear into our, to the township road and.
So anyhow, well, that's kind of where we're at there. I guess they finally did, of course, that's none of our concern, but I guess they finally did decide that they did run traffic on that road U, and they
Yeah.
are gonna patch and
Fix it.
help Lyon County out. But,
Well,
outside that-
they're down to the end and down to nitpicking and the people that are there aren't the ones that were here.
yeah.
Is a lot of it, don't you think?
Yep, I know it is, yep. Yeah,
Okay.
The people that are here cleaning up the mess weren't the ones that made the mess.
Right.
Let's put it that way, on the art res
And
side.
the ones that's here now is trying to save the company money.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's their whole job,
Yep, so,
is to spend little as possible.
Anyhow, with that,
Okay.
I guess I'm done.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
you bet. See you all later.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Patterson.
Hello. I have a couple of mundane things first. I have some purchase orders. I don't know where we're at with the whole CARES Act funding, but I'm gonna pass these to you. You guys can look at them and see what you wanna do.
Rhonda knows how to deal with those now,
Okay.
right?
So, and whether we do it, I just
We might as well just do them.
filled them out and
Right, Rhonda?
you guys
Depending
can
on how much they are, yeah.
decide.
Well, I
what
mean,
you
they're
wanna
out
do with
in
them.
out of her already allocated CARES money.
There's nothing real big in there.
Okay.
You guys don't look out.
And this is our annual WIC contract. I just need to have the
With
chairman
Shawnee
sign
County.
it, yes. There's the contract, it's marked where it needs to be signed, so
Okay.
I'd have him sign it.
I move we direct the chairman to sign off on the annual WIC contract between Osage County and Shawnee County.
Second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
If
Motion
you're
carries.
interested in the federal fiscal participation between the two, well, and then they also contract with Wabunsee County, but if that's anything you're interested in, I have that too.
Same thing we've always done. Forever.
Yep.
Probably should do.
For your input,
Yeah, it's a fabulous program.
clean
Okay,
my desk off.
now more to what I wanted to address you guys about. So I'm sure you probably have heard rumblings of this mask exemption that some counties are doing in the state. What some of the counties are doing is if both parties, meaning a positive individual who is and ends up being diagnosed with COVID, is wearing a mask, as is anyone who is considered a close contact, both parties wearing masks, that the close contact would be exempt from quarantine. That is something that several counties are doing and the entire state of Iowa. This is from Iowa State Health Department's website. I'll pass it around. You can see, what they're doing. There's several reasons why we're looking at this. The main reason is focusing on schools, because we've had, of the ones that we've had positive there, which are not very many, I think 4, 5, maybe 6 total this whole time. We have generated a huge number of quarantines. And with that, it's a huge amount of time and effort, not just for the health department, but for the schools. And a more significant issue is if their census goes down far enough because of that, they have to close the school, and then nobody can come to school. And that would have to be for the extent of however long their census is out. So it creates a huge problem for our schools, because now you're going on and off again at 2-week intervals. It's impossible to do that. It just doesn't work. With what we've found with our cases at the health department, we have had over 23, close to 2,400 negative tests so far. Is that right, Tim? Is that the negatives or is that the quarantines?
That's the next, we're at around 2,300.
Okay. Of the positives and then the quarantines, out of all of the quarantines, none of those quarantines have been a close contact of the positive, with the exception of household contacts in our county. That's just Osage. So when we quarantine somebody, the only ones so far that have come up positive have been household contacts. So where I'm going at with this is these school kids that we're quarantining, they're not coming up positive. They're not getting anybody else sick. They're not spreading it. The person who's positive is isolated at home. And then if the quarantines have both, if the quarantine and the positive both have been wearing masks, we're saying that we should back off and say those people should not have to quarantine. But they have to be wearing a mask. If they are not wearing a mask, they will have to quarantine. One or the other. So if the positive was not wearing a mask and the quarantine was wearing a mask, they still have to quarantine. So,
Either way, then.
yes.
Right.
If the positive was wearing a mask but the contact was not, the contact still has to quarantine. They both have to be wearing a mask. That's what the data is showing so far, that if both parties are wearing their mask, that it is a huge risk reduction. And in order to try and take some of the burden off of our public schools and the public health system, we think we should go ahead and implement that and
How
try.
many counties have done it in Kansas?
So far that I'm aware of personally, there's 3, one of which is Coffee.
Coffee.
Yes. And if we do this, I would want, just because it's very difficult to make a case for only doing schools, I would say for our county.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you have 2 kids in school who are sitting next to each other and one of them turns up positive, but the other one doesn't have to quarantine because they were in school and they both had masks on, but those same 2 kids sat next to each other at church, and then that kid that was not positive would have to quarantine if you didn't do it countywide. If you do it countywide, then it covers everybody. Now, I understand there are things in this, it's like, well, they could just lie about wearing masks.
True.
They can just lie about who their contacts are right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's, that argument is,
They don't have to tell you who their contacts are.
no, they don't have to tell us anything. And that's the way it is. But we're trying to find a way to get through this without destroying our local community the way it is. I mean, we've already been hit pretty hard, so.
And we've been hit a lot less hard than a lot of places.
Right.
Yes.
I've followed, I mean, I believe we've followed Jackie's recommendations on just about everything
Yes.
throughout this, and I see no reason to
And
just continue following her recommendations now.
The superintendents, I've talked with them, this isn't something that, you know, I just came up on
Right.
my own. I've talked with several superintendents and they are in support, they've talked with each other and then with me. And we've kind of come to a consensus that that would be kind of a happy medium where, especially at schools, because that's where we get these huge number of contacts from.
Right.
Most of our contact tracing is not that much, but at the schools, we're getting 80 kids at a time at once being quarantined. They're having to shut down an entire building, and it's not reasonable. So I think if we try and implement this, it will help with that and kind of help us to stay above water.
Do we need a motion on this?
I don't think this has to be a resolution because it's not a law. It's never been a law. We don't mandate mask wearing.
So
this is
just
something that's
your
within-
health department recommendation,
It's
it's
something
on
within
your
my
thing, and
department.
I'm,
Right.
But because our county has been working together this whole time and we've been open and honest with each other, I felt like it was something
Yes.
we needed to talk about and be sure you're on board. Because if you're not on board, we need to talk about it.
Right.
you have my support.
Yes.
So tell me what this entails. You're gonna do it countywide?
Yes,
Just in schools, or,
no, this is countywide, period.
so we'd wear masks
So
in
if I,
here
if
during
I
the
turn
meeting?
up positive and I have a mask on, and you have a mask on, and we were considered a close contact,
Oh,
you would not have to
Okay.
quarantine.
It is not a mask requirement. It
No.
is just
I got
that if it would come to whether if you,
you're wanting to
Yes, it's
not,
not a mandate,
not
Right.
mandate
No.
that they quarantine if they've
right.
had that scenario.
It is, if they want to wear a mask, and it helps encourage people to wear masks, and it is
Right.
something that helps. It isn't 100%, but it helps, and if both people are wearing it, it helps even better. So that's where we're going. We don't wanna mandate it, I think it's still your choice, but if we can help take the burden off our schools and our public health,
I got you.
I think it would be really
the
helpful.
newspaper lady has a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
In Coffee County, it matters what type of mask is being worn,
Yes.
does that matter here?
What we're going to do is we're going to educate and make recommendations. The schools already have proper masks. They fit properly, they're at least 2 layers that are cloth, you know, and they're policing it, and so they're on top of it. And since that's what we're really aiming this for, is the schools, I'm not gonna put out anything that says it has to be this, because there's no way I can stand over people and say that's not the right mask, that you're not wearing that mask properly. The recommendation is a mask that's at least 2 layers thick. And it can be a surgical mask, it can be a cloth mask, preferably one that fits nicely. If you can see what these guys are wearing, it fits nicely, there's not a lot of gaps or anything. That's what we want you to wear. We don't want you to wear the ones with the little respirator valves, because if you have someone coughing, it forces viral particles out that respiratory valve. But again, not gonna stand over people because it can. So if I can at least get people, you know, to wear the mask, and both of them to do it, I think we're doing really good. So, I'm not gonna try and police it now. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Any other
Yeah,
questions?
so far, I think the school's doing pretty well. As a
I think we're
temporary
doing
bus
a great
driver,
job.
most of the little kids even are doing pretty good to
Yeah.
comply.
And our daughter is at Marizine, and we ask, how's it going?
Yeah.
People having any trouble, do people seem, she's like, no, they're accepting it, it's being,
Yeah.
you have the people every now and then that,
Sometimes the junior high boys,
but that's
that
just,
football game is, but
well,
most
and
times if
that's,
you remind them,
that's the other thing, if they're hard at it playing football,
What?
they may not be able to wear it.
well, I know, but
And that's different.
on the bus I'm talking
Right.
about.
Yeah, so there are gonna be a few exceptions, and we'll address those as they come up.
Yes, so,
This will also be a little bit at the discretion of the public health officer.
Right.
It will exclude household contacts. So if my sister that I live with comes up positive, doesn't matter if you were wearing a mask, you're a household contact, you
Right.
must quarantine.
right,
Because those are the ones that are turning up positive for us, so.
okay,
Is close contact still 10 minutes or
Yes.
aggregate, within 6 feet?
Yes. Yeah. And it's different from state to state. Iowa is 15 minutes.
But it can be 3 minutes and you go away for 10 minutes and come back and it's
It
and then 7 minutes, is that 10 minutes?
It is cumulative, and that was something that KDHE came up with, because we were going back and forth about that. It's like, well, I was around for a couple minutes here, and we walked off, and then I came back, and it was another couple minutes. But
Yeah.
am I gonna really get into it and really look at that? No.
I had somebody asking me all about that.
Yeah.
and
Right.
I mean, if you really wanna sit down and get legalistic about it, then it's supposed to be cumulative.
But what kind of time frame? I mean,
10
it's,
minutes.
but I mean,
Okay.
it's 3 minutes here and then
Exactly.
7, but
What's
then is
your-
it a day or is it a
Exactly.
week or?
So if I spent 5 minutes with them in the morning and 5 minutes with them in the evening, is
Yeah.
that gonna equal 10 minutes? Straight across the board, if you ask KDHE, yes.
But how many, but another day would start the clock over?
Yes.
All
right.
And that's just what they're saying, if
Well,
you were to
okay.
ask them in one of the many webinars we have every day,
Yes,
that's what their answer would be.
you can watch webinars till you drive yourself
Yes,
crazy.
I know.
On this whole thing, it's just been my
Yeah, we
experience
usually,
with it to the point where.
we have a running commentary and it's on mute, which is a good thing,
Yeah.
because
right.
things come up and we're just like, what,
So are the schools in favor of this?
I think so.
As far as I know everybody was on board.
It was a general consensus at our last meeting.
Right. Well, the online learning is not working very well, I can tell you, so. It has its issues, or at least Burlingame does, because it keeps dropping off and stuff, so we need to keep them in the classroom as much as we can.
And there's
Yeah.
some other things we can do to work with the schools.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right.
we'll take those on a case-by-case basis and do everything we can to work with them within reason
Yes,
to try and keep our doors open.
Right.
So, I think
Okay.
we're all on the same page.
we're all for it.
All right, great.
Thank
All I
you.
got.
You wanna do those purchase orders?
Yeah, I guess we can do these. Okay,
And some of those prices are a little bit of an estimate because it's the estimate that we got when we made the.
right.
Ronnie
So-
can deal with all that.
Okay, I move we approve purchase order 3531 for German Way UV sterilizer lamps and extra bulbs.
This is CARES Act money.
Right, in amount of $1,400.
Second.
We have a question.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I wanna revert back and just ask Jackie a question.
Sure.
Tonight.
please do.
We have, in the schools, we know what kids we have to contact trace within, 6 feet. My question is, can we still give those notification to those parents of those kids and then give them the choice? That's kind of where my stance would be. I don't wanna take that, I wanna give the parents the choice to do that.
Most certainly. Yeah, if someone chooses to quarantine, that's just fine.
We'll still come.
We just won't mandate that quarantine.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime somebody wants to quarantine because they've been a close contact, that's fine with me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I seconded that one.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, I move we approve purchase order 3530 for 25 cloth masks with extra filters, $1,000.
Second.
All in favor?
It's out of CARES Act too.
Right.
Yes.
All of this is out of CARES Act.
Okay.
I vote aye. You need to
Motion
add your
carries.
blessing to that, Rhonda.
Move we approve purchase order 3529 for McKesson Sharps containers, 2 gallon with the rotor lid, $115.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You got all the
Motion carries.
flu vaccine in right now? Both kinds?
So, I believe we got our 65 and over in last week.
Did we get our new allotment in?
Yeah, that 65 and over came in last week is what the girls said. I think Wednesday. I think it was in
But do you keep pneumonia vaccine on hand? No.
Winter. It's extremely expensive.
Thanks.
I move we approve purchase order 3528 for a Ring security camera system in the amount of $575.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I move for purchase order 3527, 2 Triplite Isobar surge power protectors, the amount of $200.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And I move we approve purchase order 3526 for a Clinton 6320H blood draw chair in the amount of $2,726.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah,
Motion
you
carries.
get your copy.
Did you have a question, Wayne?
Yes, I do. Okay. On the news here, just recently, the kids walked out of Santa Fe Trail School.
that due to anything with the virus, or was that something else?
That was something else, didn't have anything to do with, at least didn't have anything to do with public health, that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I believe it was to do with the curriculum.
Teachers and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I should have.
Is it 6, Chucky, that I should have?
I think there was, I counted.
Did we get them all?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry very much.
No worries. We're good.
Okay,
All right, if you
Thank
guys have
you.
any questions, give me a call or come over.
okay,
All right,
thank you,
thank you.
See you guys.
thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Mr. Wells. How are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
Okay,
Got a couple. We're gonna eliminate our part-time dispatch for now.
oh, right,
We'll revisit it later.
I move we approve the status changes of Amanda Smith and Andrea Coffer, as part-time dispatchers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public cares. It's a cleaner for the jail.
I'll move, we approve purchase order 3520 out of the CARES Act and Sheriff's Department allocation of CARES Act to the CureUV.com for safety wraparound glasses, UV face shields, germ away mirror, surface sanitizer, deluxe germ away surface sanitizer with cage for the jail for a grand total of $791.96.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
This is, the temperature checker. I think Bryce had one.
Yeah, we talked the same thing.
Yeah, we need it for the jail and slash the sheriff's office, because right now we're testing everyone's temperature every day.
Mhm.
If you have questions, this would help us out tremendously.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
This is 3521, also out of the CARES Act money allocated to the sheriff's office. Midwest Card and ID Solutions. For a temperature scanner, the setup fee, the wellness questionnaire program for 1 year, the table stand, the floor stand, the temperature kiosk, and the shipping, which is a grand total of $2,245.
Second that as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Yes, we can move it to, that's our goal, is if we have another one, we have to close this down, we can use it here. Working with Bryce, that will mean the county has 2 of them. so we
The
can-
county will have 2 of them now, so.
Definitely. This is something that was done years ago. It was approved years ago, and the check was never wrote to them for whatever reason. They're working on.
The architect.
Yes. The Goldberg firm. I actually have a copy of the approved one, and I don't know how it got dropped or what happened. But we'd like to get them moving forward to come up with a plan.
Oh, okay, yes.
What is it?
jail
for that jail architect
feasibility
thing
study
that
that's,
Sheriff Dunn
that's
started.
been going on and
uh,
off, yeah, for a long time ago.
And, they've already done quite a bit of the work that.
The good thing about this is the fee, if we do go forward, they'll give us 4,000 of that back. So we're only paying them.
Right. I move for purchase order 3519 to Goldberg Group Architects feasibility study for a jail. Amount of $7,500.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
One more purchase order. We're working with the county attorney's office to secure a canine. They've agreed to pay for the actual dog and all that.
Right.
Importing, this is just for the cage for the vehicle. It's a safety thing for the dog, one. Basically what happens if the temperature in the vehicle gets so high, it rolls the windows down, turns on a fan. to
Right.
Make sure the dog doesn't.
Right.
I think that's all required to have now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, it's for the price of the cage in the vehicle. Whichever vehicle we get, we haven't picked the canine officer yet. but
Right.
This will get us ready, because.
So you're gonna have one vehicle that's gonna be set up for,
Just the canine.
for the
yes,
dog.
Yes, it'll be one handler,
okay,
and this is a big, they said it's a truck, car, or SUV, whatever deputy
Yeah.
would actually.
That was my next question, if it was something that would be transportable between different vehicles. If you got a new vehicle, you'd have to get the same kind of
We'd have to
vehicle.
get the same kind of vehicle.
Like
which
an
is-
SUV
right.
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, which is, seems to be what everybody's going to in the
Seems-
future.
Yes, seems to be more feasible, it's a little better.
A lot of them aren't making anything else.
Right.
Sad to say,
Somebody told me Ford was only making pickups and SUVs.
for law enforcement.
No, for everything.
Oh, for everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
they dropped the
You can't
Crown
hardly
Vics
buy
and
a
stuff.
car
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
on the
So-
police ones are even less limited what
Yeah,
they
the
make.
police ones are getting hard to find on all of them, plus
Right.
they're not even making any right now, or on any of them.
Okay, I move we approve purchase order 3522 to Cage Manufacturing LLC in amount of $5,025 out of the Sheriff's Department fund.
I'll second it.
Got a dog, we better have a cage.
Yeah,
Yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The only other
That's out the county
thing I
attorney's
foresee
fund.
on that would be a concrete pad eventually when we're at the canines where it's gonna reside. We'll do that eventually.
Oh,
Yeah, for the kennel, at the actual officer's residence.
Oh, yeah,
Want to do that eventually, but that's a.
Well,
long
yeah.
road.
that's the best place to have them there.
I request executive session for non-elected employees,
For how long?
10 minutes.
I move we go to executive session for discussion of non-elected personnel with the sheriff and the lawyer present for 10 minutes,
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
starting at 10:21.
I'm saving,
10:21.
pausing. Coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing some paperwork, so.
Is that his?
That's all
Yeah.
keep me straight, Galen.
Well, I'm trying, but it's a big job.
It is.
Our new hire for full-time dispatch.
I move we approve the hiring of Mike Garish as dispatch full-time at the rate of $13.81 an hour.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else in your pile?
I do not.
Matt, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Garrett should be here.
Oh,
Yes, he's coming. He should be here in the next 10 minutes.
okay, I
Or
didn't know
less.
he was coming
Oh,
in.
I'm sorry.
I will,
It wasn't on my agenda.
Well, he calls on Monday morning.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay. We'll take a break till he gets here. I gotta go to the.
I'll pee in here, I'll take a break.
What are you doing? I'm up here at the courthouse, that's why I wasn't there, and Gary was sick. Did you leave him, or did you just come bring him back tomorrow, or what? Yeah, I would rather you, I was hoping you didn't leave him, so. That'll be perfect, no, that's fine, cause I'll be there all day tomorrow, and that works out a lot better for me. Appreciate it, thank you.
And then after the 5 days, then her rep director then said, well, I could try an inhaler and give you prednisone. She was like, okay. She got on that, and boom.
Now, we
started
don't
going
to, no, no. Next one, I mean, no, it's good.
Well, you know, my mom mentioned in the day, and she's always been a kind person. And the other day she said, I might just start going to And I don't know what else she's been going to multiple doctors for things because they affect her and she had to see a doctor in the office. And then she had a follow-up with a doctor recently. And he came in and he was looking at the record and he said, they told you you had seen it, right? And she's like, yeah. And he says, you don't. He said, I wish you would stop telling me. And she said they were not helpless.
It's very respiratory clinic, but there's so many COVID patients here. I went in before, and I didn't think I had.
What's this deal about 2 layers?
Because, you know, we're working with.
That's what it's always been about the
And I
mask.
have allergies.
You did what KDHE is.
Well, now, those
Nobody
ones,
got one.
now, but the ones that they do up at the courtroom is not 2
layers.
I don't think there's such a deal, they gotta recommend something, they're not even gonna tell you what it is, they're just recommending it. Look at all the guys that walk around gators on their face, that's not too bad.
No.
But,
Traffic lights, the gators don't work.
right,
Those are the ones that go over your neck and you pull up, they're
The
too
ones that
big.
the kids
but
like.
think about it this way, Gene, if they were quarantining you when you had a mask on, they're telling you the mask don't work anyway. Regardless of what the mask is.
Yeah, but they've got the ones that they advertise on TV now, you just pull up, see, and it's supposed to cover your whole neck.
If they're too layered, you can wear another mask under, I guess, and then over.
Ones I've seen are just obnoxiously thin though.
You gotta make it because it gets past the roof.
Burlington has an $80,000 security system that looks down all the hallways and everything, so they've been going back on film and seeing kind of mass kids have.
So we had that, we had 5 temperature monitors set up that we could span and look everywhere. And everybody's pictures in there, so it goes, you can't wear a hat when you come in. So when you walk in, it points your head, and if your temperature's up, it sends a message to 5 people's cell phones and they come get you. Take you into a room, they set you up, and they check your temperature again. We're also gonna use the ball games.
So Burlington's, they do have that, looks like an iPad, kids walk in and they instantly takes it, and then it's the games too.
It's kind of cool.
But it does loudly pronounce that your temperature is.
Danger, danger. Danger, get out of here.
What blows my mind is you can have a group of 20 kids walk in and you catch all of them. Really? Yeah, it's amazing how, in that system, I don't know, I think it was 25,000, 30,000. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff with it. Well, of course, the leagues have, already had their meeting and they're gonna limit all gyms that have capacity.
Really? So like basketball.
Basketball we have capacity, including up here at Linwood, they have everything.
So like each player get limited amount of pitches?
Each player is gonna get like a family. That's in Osage, because we have a pretty good sized gym, but I don't know what over here. There's only 200 people gonna be allowed in Osage City.
See where Shawnee County on them, like mailbox, election drop-off boxes, they're traveling theirs all over, leaving 2 employees with it everywhere during the day, and passing. A lot of that is not real sensible.
I still think they'd ought to have to go to a polling place and vote on election day. Paper ballot.
I don't mind when they do it like early ones at the courthouse where there's actual people there watching you take care of it.
This ballot harvesting thing's the worst idea that ever happened.
It sure is.
Just send Joe Blow out there to pick up ballots and bring them in.
And just mailing ballots to everybody.
Yeah.
You don't know, if they're dead alive, they wanna vote.
You know they're being picked up at the post office by somebody else. Postal employee that'll do that for you.
And you can say this, it was never close. It was 28-0. And we could have to do a running clock the entire second. Yeah, they were done, so we got to.
Here it comes.
morning, Garrett.
How are you?
Everyone, how are you guys?
Okay.
Our weekly meetings are.
Me?
Come up here. Have a question. You make that work?
We just went together. We'll see.
Well, no, so, okay.
Because the problem is, it brings me to date, there's a rate, I mean, there's a contract we issued, and you're not gonna be able to get that in there, plus, the car park's right there.
It
And we
won't
do
be
that so that we can. clean it
exactly
up.
what I've shown, but I think
Okay, I have to look- let me
shown where
look
those
at it
checks
again.
are. and everything.
'Cause,
I mean, and
I
I
just
just
have
have
a
a
real
real
concern.
concern, I mean, I appreciate.
well, we can do that with CARES money too. We got more monies.
Okay.
So, we're gonna do your verification.
Okay.
But then I was thinking maybe you might take it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like I said, we might have, I don't know what's there.
We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, okay, but keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I put together spreadsheets, so you can kind of take a look and see where we are, where so far. It was Rhonda's just, you know, we sort of talked, it doesn't necessarily accurately reflect exactly the amount of money that's been out through the checks. because
Yeah.
We haven't quite counted for that yet, but it shows where the budget sort of lies right now.
Okay.
You know, the numbers that were sort of out there that we were talking about is the money that's gonna be recouped from the health department budget, about $380,500. I'm sorry, $380,500. From the sign and the carports.
Right.
We're a little over budget right now in the economic development where we first had, but we talked about where that money's gonna come from. And then the county transfers, which for the court, sheriff, senior center, and emergency management are gonna come in as POs, I believe. You guys kinda have your own system, how we're gonna get them taken care of with stuff. But I've kind of given them the go-ahead to go and start ordering things, so they don't have to wait on them, because they're gonna.
Right.
A lot of that PPE stuff's gonna be tough to get.
Yeah.
Right.
You wanna do the senior center since Tammy's here waiting?
Yeah. We go
Tammy,
ahead.
you wanna talk to him, what you guys have, you've got all this?
Yeah, well, he's got some other stuff too, but, what he has is, if I have it. I did, yeah, yeah, he has all of it. What we're wanting to do though is he can clean part of it.
The McElroy's one or?
No, it'll probably be this one, cause that's the difference. Yeah, that's a big difference.
The low bid.
Yeah.
But you also know that it's been a while since this has come in, so, both of these bids are probably gonna be a little more than what they are on here. Because everything is going up and up and up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not
I'd
that far
contact
out.
them
Yeah.
today
Okay,
and, the low bid one,
okay,
for sure, and see if they'll hold it, and just ask them.
okay, all right. I know that my brother-in-law's gonna build a new house and two befores were what, $2 and something, and now they're like 6 or 8.
Well, yeah, that's,
Shouldn't be a lot of wood in this thing.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
yeah.
true, that is true.
that's
But,
hurricane stuff there.
So like at a project like that, that's already allocated. And so we can move ahead with it, getting bids, and everybody keeps having questions. Is there any kind of timeline on when these things have to be done, or does the money just have to be allocated?
So the construction project, we want to be done by the end of the year.
It still needs to be done by,
At this
so I would
time,
make
yeah.
sure you tell them that this is how this is getting paid for, and see if they can still do it.
Okay, and when can I tell them when they might come up with some funding?
We can, the money's there, but we
Right.
shouldn't pay them till they've done something.
Well,
Right.
that's kind of what I was thinking
I mean, that's
too.
for sure anyway, but the money is there, Rhonda
Okay.
has it. So.
Okay, so I just tell them that we can schedule it and then
find out if they still
Find
can do
out
it
if they
and
can
tell
still
them the
get-
timing. But there's been different talk that they're going to give you a grace period to get things done.
Can't guarantee that.
Is that, you can't guarantee that at
Not
this
at
point still?
time. I think it's very likely, a lot of counties
It's-
clamoring for it, so.
Yeah, because it's hard to
Well, yeah, 2
just
months.
physically get it done.
Okay.
Basically, the only issue here is ordering the 3 units for the roof. The ductwork and stuff like that, they can make that.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, they ought to have that material on hand, basically, so.
Okay.
It's just whether or not you
So
can,
go see if they can get.
if that's a ready-made unit, so.
Okay. They should be. All right,
But-
thank you.
Where are we at on new applications on like business and stuff?
We've publicized in the paper, we're gonna give them an extra week. They come
Right.
in with the deadline, and so
Right.
that'll be October 30th, we'll see.
Right.
But you've got quite a few.
I think so.
I haven't scanned them to you, I just have a group, because I wanna make sure, today, I'd like to spend some time with you and make sure that you understand that I'm sending some of the ones that came in after the fact, that I told to come in. I wanna make sure that those people don't lose out, so I have those ready.
Yeah, I don't see it, since we're open back up, all of those are back in.
Right.
We have them all.
Have you got anything from all the fairs?
Only the Melbourne Fair and Riding
Right.
gave me that.
Yeah.
We haven't had Riding from the other 2 in Riding.
Overbrook. I thought I sent Overbrook on to you.
Have you talked to Osage City, Fred? I thought you.
I talked to him, yeah, but I didn't know.
You
that-
need to tell them to get on.
Okay,
And some of the other nonprofits, like that Arvonia Historical Society
Yeah.
and the other historical society, do you have anything from them yet?
Arvonia, nothing in writing, but we've talked. The other one, no, nothing.
Have you talked to them?
No, they have not called me.
I'll try to.
Only their.
Okay.
But it's besides Osage City Fair, one of the historical societies, I don't think we're missing anything else.
There's 3 fairs, Osage City, Melbourne, and Overbrook.
So we have Overbrook and Melbourne, just not Osage City yet. But we're
right,
talking.
okay.
All right.
I'll talk to them today, or to Bruce, and they'll get it to them, so.
I would think that by the end of the week, we will have everything there.
All right.
Kind of a report next week about some other monies that we
Right.
requested.
Cause we wanna keep moving
Right.
and have it all kinda lined out and I know that business thing, the remainder of that, but it'd be kinda nice to know if we're doing direct grants to like the fairs and stuff, that would affect the budget that's left for the other things, so.
Let's try to have that wrapped up by Monday next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a worthy goal.
And the ask request from them was $3,600 Overbrook Fair, so.
Really?
Yeah, not that much, so we've got the money there.
Yeah, I think they're cause Melbourne asked for quite a bit more and they had pretty good justifications for it. Of course, they had to completely cancel when theirs was right in the heart of it and I had told them they needed to think about whether they thought they could do a 21 one or not too, and how that would affect their raising of budget and everything, but, all right, see what they come up with.
And we talked about yesterday a bit about generators. Do we want to
Yes.
make sure who's going to be going out for that, looking for those?
Okay. I've got a quote from Caterpillar already.
For the health department?
For both,
For both.
yeah. Do these have to go out on bid too, or?
Well, that would be up to the county bid procedures. If, I need to look at your procurement procedures and see what you guys already have in place.
Well, usually
Caterpillar says they have that source well, as they call it, so it's for government agencies and stuff, and it's not really bid.
And once again, is this something they
Right.
can physically get done before December 31st?
Yeah,
So let me clarify one thing, equipment, orders like that, we can encumber that money and lay that over until March 30th right now.
Well, wouldn't that apply to the senior center, those air conditioning and
Well, so
heating?
the air conditioning and heating units, yes, but construction projects, no. And so we want to
Okay.
kind of clarify.
Well,
what-
okay, yeah,
I think there's a pretty gray area.
Pretty
right
gray
there.
area
Yeah.
there, it looks
What we're
like to me.
doing is we have a technical advisor, we go back and forth with her.
If the
Sometimes
money's
we-
encumbered for it then.
If the money's encumbered and we could otherwise regularly have expected delivery within that period.
Right.
Other than times where you can't get anything.
Right.
Then we can go ahead and let that lay over until the next year. So if we can't
This
get
one's
it-
just for the health department?
That's for both. The health department's at the bottom there. And the bigger one's for the here and the jail.
How much were
The
they?
300 kilowatt one
Um,
is the jail one?
I think 200's big enough. That's what I would recommend, the 200, because that's,
Well, you mean doing the courthouse and the jail
yes, on a 200.
for 200?
And then the health department's what, 40 down at the bottom?
50, they call
He
it.
wanted to push the 300. Of course,
50
he-
kilowatt
He wants to
natural.
run everything and basically, now this will not run the heating and air conditioning.
Even a 300 wouldn't?
No. That's, would get into big bucks too. Well, it's not the generator, cause that's
It's the switch.
that's a 480 system on those.
Yeah,
And going to 480 is a completely different ballgame,
yeah.
apparently, of generating electricity and the switch gear.
How much are these ones?
A 300's 90,000 and some change. The 200 one for, no, a 50 one. But then there's all these switches and stuff otherwise.
Well, yeah, you gotta have the switch
24,
regardless.
but you have
The
to have
switch.
the switches and all that. to
Doesn't
it
make any
work.
difference what you connect to it, you gotta have that switch, which is about 10,000.
You're the one that did it, you explained it.
A 200 kilowatt or diesel generator was 48,000. And then you got $10,000 for the automatic switch gear, which you're gonna buy no matter what. And then, health department, 50 kilowatt generator is 23,000, and the switch gear was $5,200.
And
So-
that's with the, whatever you call that, the so-called government discount deal or whatever.
Yeah,
And who else offers this?
That's the next problem.
well, there's a couple other companies offering, the only issue with the others is they have a generator and then they buy an engine. And then they put them together, and sometimes CAT is responsible for the whole part of it. And we had that with a road grader years ago, that they had an International engine and a Galleon road grader, and then they pointed fingers at each other whose the problem was, you know? So, and here you would have a local distributor where the Generac and some of them is Tulsa, Oklahoma's that would be the servicing dealer.
That's what the city of Linden put in, is it not? I guess you know everything.
Generac's very popular, and they make a wide variety of them, but, you know,
I know they got one across the street, that's the only reason I remember seeing that.
so. And, there's a couple others.
So
I
that's
looked,
just something though you'll put out for bid when you're spending close to $100,000.
well, yeah, still have to go request for proposal
The
again.
problem is, you haven't got time to do it.
Well, yeah,
Or do you? So like on this equipment then, you have to have all the bids and stuff done before December?
Yeah.
But they don't have to have it actually delivered till March.
That's correct.
But I mean, still, if you're gonna do that, you better put your bids out
right,
today.
And put on there when they have to have it by.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
All that, yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, so.
That, if you're going to move forward with it, you better get moving forward with it, that's
Yes.
my point.
Well, since we're catching heat about the one at the current location by the fire marshal and everybody else,
Which one?
the jail generator. And the health department's not big enough.
No, I mean, there's all that.
So-
I'm not arguing the sensibility of needing it, but
The ones that are there now, are they diesel?
This one's diesel, the other, health department's natural gas.
And the reason I'm asking is I remember talking at one of these meetings, they didn't wanna put a diesel one back because they didn't wanna have dragging a hose across the lawn to fill.
That was the past sheriff.
Okay. So the diesel one is okay now?
Well,
natural gas works a lot better on those.
That's why,
It's,
so is the bid getting?
natural gas is twice as expensive, and it's a lot bigger unit than a diesel.
But there may be another company that offers that smaller unit of natural gas that would be the same price as the diesel.
You never know. You
No,
could
no,
outbid it
yeah.
either way.
Like I said, all I got was a ballpark figure to work with, so we'll go out from here and bid it, but
So who you gonna have, are you gonna write the proposal in?
I don't know how we.
And you send
do
it
the
out,
request
what
for
you need to
proposal.
do.
Do we have a special form, or is Pat?
You'll have to give the verbiage of what you're looking for, we'd need, because I don't think either Pat or I are experts on that.
Well,
I would suggest that you sit down with Mr. Tyson, who's written 1,000 of them. And,
Okay.
And get him to help you, and I would suggest you do it this week and.
Okay,
Get
I
it
will
out
do that.
And also, Mr. Tyson would be aware of several places to send the request to.
Right.
I mean, because Barry and all those have them. Are they great at it? I don't know. Like Glenn and I talked about them.
Yeah.
Some of them places have the ability to sell them, but they rarely sell them.
Right.
Where Catdale sells a lot of them, and that's
Right.
one thing. And Generac would too, but like you said, Generac's doesn't have as local a person to
Right.
service it and stuff. But
Okay.
So
Yes.
Brett, is that something that you can send out, like different levels, like a 200 kilowatt in diesel or natural gas, have a bid of both ways?
Right.
The same way with.
Yes, have them bid either, but I don't think we need to go to 300 kilowatt just because that was based on looking at the sticker on the,
But whatever the size you need, you put
Right.
it out for a bid with gas or.
yes.
And have a bid of both ways.
Right. Now, we have not talked with the city yet to see how much gas capability we have here.
that's another issue.
That's the next
Certainly
question.
need to find.
We know it's here somewhere, but is it a big enough line?
Yeah.
And so we'll have to get with the city and go that route too.
That sounds like a plan, but I'm just saying.
Right.
If you're gonna do that, you better get it going.
And
Okay.
generators are exempt from DEF, so that's a good thing.
Well, that is a good thing. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes.
Exempt from what?
Have a DEF,
DEF,
diesel exhaust fluid, which is a super pain in the neck.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Wow.
but we need some concrete work and everything done as well. And we'll talk with, Thiels was over here the other day when we was going over it, so they know kind of what to do and what they would have to
I'm
bid
fine
for
with
their
having
part.
chairman proceed with
Okay.
getting the bid, or getting the
We will do
request
that.
for proposal and having it, getting it sent out.
Right, will do.
Anything else we're missing?
I don't think so.
At the end of the last meeting, I think there was a possibility that people could reapply if they either hadn't been awarded something or weren't happy with what they were awarded, but what was determined on that?
The deadline's the 30th.
The applications are open I guess you can reapply if you want to, you know.
Well, I know that at the end of the last meeting.
Well, I
it was
know.
kind of- It was left kind of unknown,
It's-
and I didn't know if that had been decided yet or not.
It's still up to, it would go back to the committee and they could decide to, review it.
Or not? It's up to the committee. But
So-
as far as people applying, it's fine.
Yeah, if they wanna reapply, I don't care,
So has the committee been asked if they're willing to relook at those applications, or,
They've been asked to convene again, they've all accepted.
and what?
They've accepted to convene, they've all accepted to
But
participate.
they haven't been asked if people can reapply.
They have not met again to consider any other
Because I think the
requirements.
ad in the paper said that it was not open to people who'd already applied. The ad in the paper said that people who applied before could not apply again. And I wasn't sure when that decision was made.
Wow.
I don't know.
you don't want people that got money the first round to get
Right.
it the second round. I would say that.
But if you got a problem there, though, you're gonna have to either make a decision that if it's in the paper that they can't, then you're not gonna.
Well, the discussion at the very end of the meeting wasn't about.
I
people
didn't
who
read
got
it in the paper, so
I never read the
I
paper.
see how it read, so.
That's what it said, the information that you got from Garrett said that they could not reapply.
Yeah. If it said that, then that's the way to go with it.
Okay,
Yeah, you almost have to go that way.
okay.
Right.
Okay, so then, who made that decision?
I didn't. Who wrote the ad?
I didn't write it.
Alright. Doesn't matter.
Wait, that does matter, because at the end of the last meeting, it was still under consideration. And the answer was that the committee was gonna be asked about it. And I'm just doing a follow-up question to see if it had been determined, because I did see the ad in the paper and noticed that it had already been decided. And I was just curious who decided it, since it was supposed to go to the committee for consideration.
Who did the newspaper ad come from?
It came from me. I understood that we were
Okay.
accepting a second round of
Okay.
applications, that we weren't, that's how I understood it. If we want to
All
make
right.
a change, we can
Okay.
make a change.
Right.
But you heard.
Well, the committee still has all the applications.
Correct.
So you gotta change the rules and let everybody reapply, you better change the ad in the paper.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah, do we want to let all 107 applicants reapply?
no,
No.
no, they're not reapplying,
Yeah,
but
some
you have their
applicants-
application. So if some reason, depending on how much money the committee decides to disperse this way.
So the individual that was here last week, when he was sitting here asking you for reconsideration on what he got, he's not gonna be allowed at all then. So he knows that. He was here from Osage City.
Correct.
That's right.
Ramey Recycling, so.
So.
The way I understand
they've
it,
already
the
been
newspapers,
through the
they applied
committee.
and it's been
I know
That guy has
Right.
already been
I
through the
know.
committee.
But you heard him in here.
I don't think we wanna second guess
No.
the committee's decision.
Right.
So
Alright.
so anything that went through the committee that was turned down would be under that same bill, they're not gonna be relooked at again either, so it's just new applications from then to now. Anybody that's already applied and been looked at, it's done, it's over, they're not gonna be relooked at under the next batch.
But now, well, you did make a statement on the 23 that was denied because they were not, what was it? The
Nonprofit.
businesses, nonprofit,
But
right?
the nonprofits were in there, and there was a lot of nonprofits that got money, so that, it eliminates all of them now. What brought this up was the Rails for Trails came by. They were already turned down, and then they came to the meeting asking to reconsider. So that's what got this started, and then, so that's where the question come in from, where the businesses that did not get it, are they gonna be reconsidered, or are they, and what it sounds like is if you've already applied, it's done. That, I don't know where that come from, you guys are Garrett, but it's come that way.
Right.
And the newspaper put it that way.
I don't think we wanna second guess
No.
what the committee did.
Right.
The committees, the ones the committee has seen and already judged on, we need to stand by the committee and go with their recommendations and findings, is what I think. As far as totally new ones and stuff, that's great, there's money left, that was the whole intent of this second
Right.
round, is to get as much money out to people
Right.
that really needed it for whatever reason that didn't apply the first time. That's where I would think.
I agree.
So
And-
people who weren't happy with what they got the first time, or were denied totally.
All right, is anybody ever gonna be happy? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
And there's a
they've
lot
been through
smaller
the
pot that's
process.
gonna be this time,
And this
we-
is,
you know.
you know,
There were some real estate people got money. Some of them didn't.
I did not see those, and I
Yeah, well,
don't know if you did either, Gene. I
I did
intentionally didn't
I
look
know,
at the
I
print.
know.
Well, it's fine, Gene, you know a lot of things.
Well, I know a few.
I just said you
You
did.
bet.
I just said that you did, and you're arguing with me for agreeing with you.
Hey,
Is this the time for public
No.
comment?
No.
No.
Okay.
you don't like these.
Are you,
Mr. Bailey, well, let's go
I
on.
think the clarification will be for the people though, so they don't, if they already applied, they know not to reapply.
Right.
Because there's there's no reason for them to go through the process of trying to get a whole bunch more information to bring to you that doesn't matter.
I agree.
If it's done, it's done, so
Right.
it's to make sure that's clear,
Right.
that everybody knows what is moving forward, and I think
Right.
I
everybody
think
knows that.
that's
Right.
been made clear right now, so, yeah. Any other questions from Garrett? Direction? Great, you know how to proceed, thank you.
Okay.
Lauren, did you wanna later,
Just 2 minutes.
I can come back in, or?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is there anything else in Rhonda's pile? You're done. I move we adjourn.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.